Michael Burry made a fortune during the Big Short. What's he buying now? Let's have a look. So this is from his 13D, 13F, and this is from his latest 13F filing, and he looks like he sold Alibaba, which people were talking about last quarter, and he bought a few other things. So he sold Alibaba, which was a big position for him, sold off a lot of JD.com, which is another Chinese retailer, but he did have some new buys. So what is he buying? Estee Lauder, which is a cosmetics company. It's trading pretty cheaply now. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that. Pinduoduo and some other things. So this is pretty interesting. Pinduoduo is a company. It's very big in China, and in China they compete with Alibaba and JD.com, but here you would know them for the app Temu. So Temu operates at a loss in the US, but it's very profitable in China, and they use the Chinese operations to subsidize the US stuff. And you'll notice he bought a pretty large position, and part of the reason why Pinduoduo, the owner of Temu, is down now could be because of the tension between the U.S. and China, because the current administration talks about a tariff, a 25% tariff on Chinese imports, and companies in China can actually ship goods to the U.S. cheaper than companies in the U.S. can ship goods in the U.S. because of a special treaty that we have, and there's talk of doing away with that, and this could hurt that. So not only would the tariffs hurt that, but you've got the other trade issues with this, such as doing away with that special treatment that you get for shipping goods through the U.S. mail. And another issue with this, and it's the same issue that you have with Alibaba and Baidu, which is either you trust the Chinese government or you don't, and it's okay if you don't, because these companies, Alibaba, JD.com, and Pinduoduo, unlike other foreign companies, you are not buying the actual shares. So if you had another company like Nintendo or Grupo Televisa, which are in other countries, and you trade the U.S. listed shares are what's called ADRs, American Depository Receipts. So they take the physical shares, like a physical piece of paper like this, and they put it with a company that's known as Depository Trust Clearing Corporation, DTCC. It's in Manhattan, and the physical pieces of paper are kept in a vault. Those are the shares, and then they issue ADRs, American Depository Receipts, based on the shares in their vault, and that's what you trade on the exchange. However, with Chinese stocks, foreigners, especially people in the U.S., are not allowed to own shares in Chinese company. They are not allowed. The Chinese government won't allow foreign ownership of Chinese companies. So what are these shares you're trading then? Well, they have this setup where there's an entity set up in the Cayman Islands or the Bermuda, and they issue a contract that is kind of a derivative, and the derivative says that I will pay you X amount based on the movement of the stock price, and then those shares are what's traded on the exchange. So those are called VIE, variable interest entities, and somebody in China owns the shares, and then this company that is in China issues these contracts on these variable interest entities in Bermuda or the Cayman Islands, and then those shares are traded in the U.S. But there's a problem, which is the legality of this has never been tested. And you're relying on two things: one, for the Chinese government to treat these companies that issue the VIE fairly, and two, for there to be some legal mechanism that would give you the same shareholder rights in the U.S. that you would in China through these VIEs. And that's very questionable. And then there's the other issue of if we've got tariffs and we've got other trade policy stuff with China, and then we decide not to play nice with them, they might play nicely with us. And as you saw during the war in Ukraine, people who owned Russian shares were out of luck, and you couldn't trade those shares, and then you sort of lost all your money. And if something like that happens here, the same thing could happen with Chinese shares. But Michael Burry is a lot more open to risks than most people. As you saw in the Big Short, he bet the farm, and he ended up making a lot of money, but he almost went bankrupt. And if you're that type of trader, you can look at what he's trading, and if not, you can look for easier hurdles to jump. So as Warren Buffett says, don't find 6-foot hurdles and try to jump over them. Just find the 1-foot hurdles. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Michael Burry's buys this quarter. If you would like to see some other ones that he bought, we just discussed Pinduoduo. But if you want to see something like Estee Lauder or HCA, just leave a comment and I'll take a look. And I did put up a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. So if you want to support the channel, you can donate there. And we'll see you soon with some more videos. Good luck.